please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's log, subdates 230306.8. I made it to the docking bay over the weekend, and yes, we took a few casualties, but my prize is very close. I can in fact see it. It looks a lot like the actual beta. Subfleet's definitely going to get clarted with this one. Welcome everyone to This Week at Twitter, or Twat. Today we're going to start with something that I think everyone needs to do. If you're male especially, you need to understand that generations before you, and maybe even yourself subconsciously, have oppressed a woman. Because of this reprehensible behavior, you need to atone for it. You need to make right. You need to beg for forgiveness. You need to apologize. You need to do something to make sure the women know that you are no longer benefiting, even though by atoning you still are benefiting, for two glaringly obvious reasons. The first is you've used your male privilege to force an apology onto someone else. And the second, because men can never get it right. Am I right, fellas? With this in mind, we go to End Wokeness. Quotes, men, end quotes, bowing down to women to atone for oppression at some kind of doodah shindig festival thingamajiggy. As you can see, a lot of sweaty arseholes are pointing in our direction. But standing above them are some women, all their eyes closed, some crying because this is so powerful to them. It really speaks to me. And as is well known, not one of those guys is going to fuck a single one of those women. It's going to be the other way round. And it more than likely has been for some time. Somewhere in your cargos, khakis, shorts, jorts, you'll find a Y chromosome. It's not attached to you, but it's somewhere nearby, trying to escape your gravity. You're welcome. Might I recommend, instead of these virtue signaling displays, which don't really do anything for anyone, and I mean they really don't, how about instead, to atone for oppression, you lead and live by example. The past cannot be changed, but the future can be written better simply by being better. The cycle has to end somewhere, and the blame game, if anything, just causes everything to go back around and round in circles like a snake eating its own tail or a leviathan bibbing itself. So next, Silver Veil's Twitch archive. For those that missed it, Silver hopped on stream earlier to address the drama surrounding Hogwarts Legacy and here on Twitter. I've edited that down to a shorter video you can watch here. Now, the tweet itself was eventually deleted, but there's a link to a video which is also private. Annie Dro retweeted the deleted tweet with, "Not sure if people realize this, but the majority of hate and doxing that streamers are receiving from the Wizard game is manufactured by right-wingers to damage the reputation of trans people, and it's working flawlessly. Psyops are at an all-time high right now. I mean, trans people are probably gonna side-eye, but no one gives enough of a feck to spam hate at streamers. Deranged right-wingers who post hatred all day in LGBT chats have no problem making fake accounts to make us look bad. Media literacy is at an all-time low in 2023. I would like to offer a reply to Annie Dro's tweet. There are, more than likely, some that are in fact right-wingers manufacturing it to suit an agenda. There's no doubt of that. The majority of it though, now that is quite the claim. Without any proof to the contrary, all you've got is an assertion. I've seen some of that hate because I got curious. People themselves who declared themselves trans, so I guess they're all right-wingers, I guess? Are we delegitimizing their experience, their existence, and just pigeonholing them all as right-wingers? Because as is well known, there are no trans right-wingers in existence, right? I guess the point is, you can assert something all you like, but without any verifiable proof, it is just an assertion. Anecdotal evidence is not going to confirm it either, and I have no idea what Silver said in the video. Some VTuber, I honestly pay no attention to VTubers in the slightest, but as far as the Hogwarts Legacy game goes, which is what this is about, the point will remain the same as it always has been for me. The game is not promoting transphobia, and nor was J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling is taking a stance against something else. It has been spun and spun and spun, and the original point itself has been lost in favor of indignation over other things. games. But your point that the right-wingers are manufacturing this, that is interesting. Stargazer replied to this with, "This is so ridiculous. Quit blaming everything on the right. Many trans people have admitted on Twitter to doing this. You seem to think the right just sit around just trying to think of ways to destroy trans people. Trust me, I have much better things to do." I think most people have better things to do than manufacture any hate against any group of peoples. Why? Because we've got work. We have families to look after, friends to associate with. These pointless gestures against a video game are astonishing. And by the way, it isn't just those on Twitter and Twitch who are doing it, you have journalists as well, whether that be on newspaper, websites, TV, radio, who are taking firm stances, and those firm stances are to guilt by association. If you're not paying attention, Annie Dro, that sounds an awful lot like a you problem. You live apparently within an echo chamber of your own smug. Stop huffing your farts and focus on the issue at hand. So I've noticed a lot of Marilyn Manson related content trending on Twitter, and that's because Marilyn Manson, much like Johnny Depp, is going through a defamation trial of sorts. It's getting quite murky, muddy, and the reason I hadn't touched it sooner is because, again, murky, muddy, and I needed more to come out first before offering any comment. I'm not really going to offer much in the way of a comment in this, more talk about why it's trending. The reason that more recently Marilyn Manson was trending was because an ex-accuser, so someone that had blamed Marilyn Manson for a number of things, has claimed that Evan Rachel Wood, who I believe is Marilyn Manson's ex-wife, manipulated her into lying. Ashley Smithline's sworn statement that she was coerced by Evan Rachel Wood and Esme Bianco into falsely naming Marilyn Manson as an abuser, and Ilma Gore being the one who drafted and posted her coming out statement. Underneath, this is from the Justice for Marilyn Manson Twitter, are the statements confirming this. There is a video also doing its rounds, tweeted by the same account. If a Marilyn Manson #MeToo accuser coming clean that Evan Rachel Wood and others coerced her into lying piques your interest, learn more about the case, and yeah, video included a minute long. The video itself goes over how this lie is a lie, how this all came to light, how Evan Rachel Wood has, well, been a bit on the shitty side, you know? Marilyn Manson's career has been well and truly destroyed, similar to that in a manner of Johnny Depp's actually. I won't deny that for the sake of his career it was going down anyway, but slowly. The accusations that all came out against him, well, it certainly did a fantastic job expediting his race to the bottom. I am going to now insert something I've always believed when it comes to cases like this. Regardless of who you are in the public eye, they should all be behind closed doors and using social media, knowing that social media will then turn on that person, shows you are willing to use the most deceptive, manipulative practices possible. Not necessarily to out someone, but to ruin someone. If there is a legal issue here, it should have gone to a court and to authorities first. There are many reasons why many don't, I understand that. But there is a system for a reason. By skirting it, now that information and context has come out, you look even shittier. If you think you know how to play the game, chances are this is a damning statement for how bad you are at the game. So when public support is now fully in his favour, people who have jumped on the bandwagon and acted impulsively to look good for their own optics now look really bad because again they pounced on the wrong thing for the wrong reason while claiming it was for the right reason, when in reality they just wanted to save their own assholes. If this does go to trials and things happen, do expect a dedicated video on the subject, because it is quite fascinating. I am going to link the #Marilyn Manson down below, because it is genuinely quite interesting to see how many draw the comparison between Marilyn Manson and Johnny Depp. And there's a point there. It is a verifiable point there, really. Another trend of interest was respect for Tolkien. This one had me worried. It had me worried considerably, in fact, as if we haven't suffered enough with the first season of Rings of Power. Many gave Peter Jackson a lot of flack for how he portrayed certain aspects of the Lord of the Rings movies and the Hobbit movies. Comparative though, false equivalence, I know, he did an alright job. He took certain liberties because it needed to suit the bigger screen. Made sense. Changing certain stories a little just so it flowed, and of course removing Tom Bombadil because seriously, what would be the bloody point having him there? What I want to do is go through a few tweets that I liked in that trending tag, and then go through the real reason why it was trending. So the first one, Know the difference. #respect for Tolkien. You have two versions of Galadriel. One is 6'4", never visited Numenor, wise and powerful, magic capabilities, elegant, refined, acts her age, her presence commands respect. In the TV show, takes command of Numenor, immature and impulsive, needs a sword, acts like a 10-year-old spoiled brat, and has a tough guy attitude. He's also 5'2". On my Discord server, that is a gnome. Next, Lord of the Rings has no revamp. Lord of the Rings needs no revamp. Who's even asking for this? I see we're getting close to the reason why. Screw it, we're going to go to it now anyway. Variety. Warner Brother Pictures is revamping the Lord of the Rings film franchise. I'm not sure I'm okay with this. We don't need a reboot, and if it was being revamped, it would only be done for one glaringly obvious reason concerning simply changing the actors that portrayed certain characters, which meant in turn you could then make it a very diverse cast. That is an invariable and obvious thing to do. Think about all the CW shows that do it anyway. Thank feck the Arrowverse is ending. Now at present, we don't actually know what the intention is. What we do know so far is studio leaders have brokered a deal to make multiple films based on Tolkien's books, so it may not be the Lord of the Rings trilogy or the Hobbit trilogy, which amassed $6 billion in revenue. We also don't know who's helming this, because Peter Jackson has said that he is only going to be kept in the loop at the moment, no actual involvement just yet. One more tweet though, or two technically, that I want to use. TheOneRing.com. If Warner Brothers really want to make a successful Lord of the Rings movie and avoid fan failure of the Rings of Power, video down below. High King Fëanor retweeted with, "The format is simple really. Don't do what those idiots at Amazon did. Stick to the canon as best you can. Don't allow modern BS to pollute your product. There's the formula for success and a happy fan base." Along with a reply, "And don't presume to think you can write better than Tolkien himself." A valid point, especially when you consider he devised, constructed, manufactured an entire world. Not many authors can say they've done that. Oh, and apparently Tolkien was against allegory? Don't force that either. Ta-ta everyone.